My name is Ebony. We're the Bates International Group. We got some folks on here. You can go ahead and introduce yourself, Mohammed.
Hey, Mohammed here, the one of the other parts of the Bates International Group.
Yeah. And then we also have with us today, we're really, really excited to have Steve Morris from George Mason Mortgage. And he's just gonna, Stephen, I want you to go ahead and just introduce yourself. There's no formalities, however you want to kind of run things. We have 30 minutes, and I know that you have a lot of things to talk about. One of the exciting things that we want to hear about too is, the Smart Buy program and some of the down payment assistant programs. That exist everywhere, but especially here in the DMV. So without further ado, you can just jump right in.
Okay, well, hey, Ebony, thank you so much. Thank you for the partnership. It's been great getting to know you over these last couple of months. My name's Steve Morris, and I'm Senior Vice President, Director of Community Lending for George Mason Mortgage and United Bank. I've been in the business for actually 20 plus years. Ebony and I just had a laugh. One of your prior guests is somebody that actually trained me in the business. So it was funny looking at the older YouTube videos. I'm here. Ebony asked me to do a couple things. A, talk about my view of the market from the lending side, and then B, talk about programs and products. So really, what's happening in the market? Inventory continues to be low. We still got all this talk about inflation, and that is what's driving interest rates higher. We are still at 4% unemployment, which means we're almost at full employment as a country. So what does that mean? It means people are making money and they have money to spend on homes. So that's also putting pressure on prices. So it's still, in my opinion, a seller's market, right? Not the crazy seller's market we had in the COVID market, but still somewhat of a seller's market. Developers and builders out there, the big names. I had a conversation with a senior vice president at one, and I'm like, if you guys got all these lots, why aren't you releasing them? Well, because a lot tomorrow is more valuable than a lot today. So they're not putting out the inventory that we used to see. So anyway, all of that's putting pressure on the market. But the good news is that there are programs out there that help folks get into homes. The good news also is that sellers are willing to work with folks more so. Maybe they won't, pay all the closing costs, but maybe they'll help. One of the other benefits is maybe now you don't have to waive all your contingencies like you used to in the COVID market. So programs are becoming really, really prevalent. In my role, I'm running the grant program for George Mason. And so what my goal is today, real quick, is to talk about a couple of George Mason programs, what we call portfolio products, and then talk about the products available in the DMV. And high level overview, we can drill down as much as possible. So let me just jump in and talk about what we're doing at George Mason. So again, we've realized that the down payment and the closing costs usually are the biggest hindrance to folks getting into homes. So we released two $10,000 grant programs, and I'll review them both with you. And again, these are grant programs. These are not second loans or mortgages, but these are straight up $10,000 grants that clients are eligible to get for purchasing a home. The first one is the Welcome Home Grant. Again, $10,000, minimum 3% down, no PMI. I'll say that again. $10,000 grant, you can put as little as 3% down, and there's no PMI or private mortgage insurance if you don't know what that term means. This is a product where you can't currently own property, but you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. Minimum credit score in this product is 680. It's a portfolio product, so it's a manual underwrite. So we underwrite and close these in-house, and we can close these pretty quickly since it's our own money and our own product. What I tell my partners is we can close these in 25 days or less. So that's a real attractive thing to share with with a listing agent when you're trying to pick up a property. Income limit for that product is $180,000. So that's pretty high. And in the DMV, we need income limits that high, quite honestly. And how we look at this is not by household income. We look at it based on the income of the borrower that we put on the application. So if husband and wife make more than that and we don't need the wife's income or vice versa, we can just do it with one spouse's income. Whereas some other products that I'll talk about look at household income. What else can I tell you? And so this product is available in most of the DMV. So when we talk about programs in general, and you'll see a lot of lender products out there tend to be geographically specific. All lenders are judged on where they lend. So for this particular product, we've selected specific census tracts in the DMV, and the properties that are eligible in those particular census tracts will qualify for the grants. Now, that doesn't mean that this is a niche product. I run a list every week, and they're usually anywhere between 1,000 to 1,300 eligible properties. So again, lots of opportunity in all different price range, all different property types. This is for a single family purchase. We won't do duplexes, mobile homes, multifamilies, or co-ops. So we will do condos and single families. So that's our first product.
Steve,
the second, yeah.
Quick question about, as far how far does that product reach? Is that, just where
Great.
George Mason lends, or is it here?
Yeah, so this product was designed to support lending activities in what we call the DC MSA. So we're looking at most of the DC and Maryland counties close in. So Prince George's County, Charles County, Montgomery County, most of DC, most of Northern Virginia. But again, it's census tract driven, not zip code driven, but census tract driven. So again, I will say the most prevalent area is Prince George's County, and then DC it comes in second, where you'll see the most number of eligible properties. But again, we just to give you a little sense, we rolled out this product last year, about March of last year. The goal was to do 200 of these a year. We blew it out of the water, and we did 400 plus last year. And we're on track to do probably 600 this year. So that's a huge commitment of the bank, because again, this is a grant. This is not a loan. So we are committed to helping folks who need the help get into homes. So that's the Welcome Home Grant. Yeah,
Steve,
Mohammed.
can you put this into context for folks that are on the call? Excuse me, on a I'm sorry, that are here with us now and they'll be watching this later on YouTube via some of our other platforms. When you say this is a no PMI loan product, can you let the listeners know how much money they'll potentially be saving each month without paying that PMI?
That's a great question. Thank you for bringing that back. So just the idea of private mortgage insurance, just so not to get too far in the weeds, but normally when you're putting less than 20% down, the bank or the lender wants some insurance in the unfortunate event someone were to default. So they usually make you get private mortgage insurance. I would say on a $400,000 loan, you can expect private mortgage insurance to add up between, I would say, $250 and $300 to your payment each month. So this product does not have that requirement. All right, so that's the potential savings associated with the Welcome Home Grant. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you so much. And this just leads into, kind of affordability, especially with interest rates being so much higher now. Being able to save $250 to $300 a month is, shaving off 0.5%, maybe 1% on the interest rate.
It's huge. It's huge, and it's been a huge benefit, and that's why the product has been so incredibly popular, and we've been able to do so well with it. So that's our first product, and again, it's the Welcome Home Grant. The second product we have is called the Journey Home Grant, and the Journey Home Grant again, pretty similar, $10,000 grant, no repayment due, 3% down. This one has PMI. It's reduced, but it does have PMI. Credit score for this one will allow as low as 620, but it's going to be honestly going to be difficult to get an approval like 620. You can currently own property for this. So again, you're not required to be a first-time home buyer, because in this case, you can actually own property. You just have to live in it. This has to be your primary residence. This one has a max income of $120,000, and again, it's based on the borrower income, not household income. Again, covers most of the DMV. My most recent report, about 1,000 eligible properties in the DMV for this particular grant. And again, we'll close these loans in 25 days or less also, because it's an in-house product. So that's what we're doing. That's what George Mason's doing. And you will find, honestly, that there are a lot of lenders out there now that are coming up with programs. So the important part is finding the right person that can help you navigate the product and program. So those are my in-house, what I call our portfolio programs. But as everybody mentioned, I'm kind of the grant guy, so I have to be aware of all of the others too. So let's go through some of the others. Let's start with DC, which has, of course, if you haven't heard, the HPAP program. Can't remember what the initials stand for, but it's actually a pretty good product, because you can get up to
Home Purchaser Assistant Program.
There you go. Sounds like a veteran right there. You can get up to $202,000 in down payment assistance help, and $4,000 in closing costs help along with that. Now, this product is income driven, depends on household size and household income. But I've had a couple of transactions lately. I helped a DC school teacher who had 4 kids, and she qualified for the grant and the closing costs, and she got almost $200,000 in assistance. Now, this, unlike my grant, this is a deferred loan. So for 5 years, there is no payments associated with this loan. So if you decide to refinance or sell, if you refinance or decide to sell, you've got to pay the loan back regardless. In 5 years, you have to start making payments on the loan. I'm going to speak for DC and maybe say the idea is to get people started, help them build some equity. Hopefully over that time, incomes will increase so that if and when that new payment kicks in, they're prepared for it. But like I said, I had a guy working for DC government making $60,000 a year, I think, who bought a 400 plus row home. I want to say $450,000 row home in DC, which would be very difficult without that level of assistance. So that's a great program. Unfortunately, it is out of money right now. They're supposed to release funds again in early October. And there are a bunch of steps associated with getting approved. As with all programs, usually there is a home buyer education component. In the example of HPAP, you actually have to go take an 8-hour class and then get what's called a notice of eligibility that tells you exactly what you qualify for. But again, it's a fantastic program. It's helping people. It's helping with affordability. It's getting people in the door. In 5 years, they've got some choices to make. And I know they've made exceptions in terms of letting people continue to keep that loan in place as opposed to having to pay it off. But again, it is a product that's out there and it's good, and folks can take advantage of it. The other one is the DC Opens Doors program, which will give you up to 3.5% of the sales price in a down payment assistance loan. The income limit on that one is about $199,000. You have to be buying a property in DC to be eligible for this program. What else can I tell you? Let me just check my notes real quick. That one has a minimum FICO of 640. And I be honest, I haven't done many of these in my current life. When I was at Wells Fargo, I did a couple of them. And again, it was the difference between someone being able to get a home and not get a home. So that's another great program for DC. Moving on to Maryland. Maryland Signatures program is that Maryland mortgage program. And that's how Ebony and I met. We've got a client together that's trying to take advantage of it. And I will tell you, Maryland runs a pretty tight ship. Their product is good. It's it's easy to get through underwriting, and they've got some pretty good nuanced areas associated with their product too. In terms of down payment assistance, you can get between 6,000 and up to 5% of the loan amount, depending on, again, the sales price. It's hard to say specifically how much they'll. Let's put it this way: their income limits based on specific areas, but this product is available in every county in Maryland, so that's really good. They recently made a change to help with, again, getting more people in the door. Before, the max DTI used to be 45%. They just released, well, if you had a 680 score or above, you could go to 50, a DTI of 50, or debt to income ratio. Now, if you've got a 640 or above score, you qualify for that 50 DTI. So that's huge. That'll, again, allow more people to qualify and getting the homes. In this one, again, it's a deferred loan that'll be due. The down payment assistance is a deferred loan that'll be due at either refinance or sale of the home. There are no payments due, so if you have this loan for 30 years, you won't have to pay on it. It's just when you sell that you'll have to pay off that down payment assistance. Now, Ebony asked me to talk specifically about Smart Buy, which, again, is just incredible. The Smart Buy program allows you to pay off your student loans as a function of this product. So up to $40,000 in student loans can be, I don't want to say rolled into the loan, but that's not really the right way to say this, because it's not a second mortgage. But if you qualify, and qualification means that your student loans are less than the maximum amount, and the maximum amount are 15% of the loan amount, or 40,000, whichever one is lower, and your student loans are less than 40,000, you can have them all covered. And here's the most important part: all of your student loans have to be covered. If you have 50,000 in outstanding student loans and you want to take advantage of this program, you're going to have to pay off that extra 10,000. So it's not a partial payoff, it's a full payoff. But I've got a client now that's got, $30,000 worth of student loans, and she's all over this. How it works is this is a 5-year forgivable loan with no payment associated with it. So 20% each year gets basically forgiven, and after 5 years, all of your student loans will be paid off. So can you imagine that? All your student loans gone because you're buying a house. And oh, by the way, you can get some help with this product too. You can get an additional $6,000 in down payment assistance to go along with this. Now, of course, the credit requirements are high, meaning you got to have a 740 score or above. But that is the Smart Buy program in a nutshell. I mean, the interest rate's a market interest rate. Service level is fine. No tricks. It's pretty straightforward. But that is a fantastic down payment assistance product if I ever heard of one. So for Maryland buyers who might be on the call, yes, this product is only, I see a question here, only in Maryland. Yes, this is a Maryland product. And I'll tell you, Maryland's been at the forefront of down payment assistance for a long time. You've heard of their product is also known as the CDA loans. They really do an excellent job. They've got a great website. If you want to go to marylandmortgageprogram.com, you'll see all the intricacies associated with that product. It's actually really, really, really cool. What else can I tell you? So that's Maryland. The other most popular one is the in Virginia, is the VHDA program. You can get grant assistance of up to 2% of the purchase price. This one has a minimum FICO of 640. Again, this is a deferred second mortgage. and that's available up to 3 to 3.5% of the sales price. Income limits apply based on household income, so forth and so on. But another great product of which, for those that need help, it's definitely worth a look. So, those are the local programs, are the big ones. I'm sure nationwide there are other programs too. I'm not an expert in them, but the most important thing, I guess, is to do some research if you're not local, and find a lender that does have products or excuse me, access to programs, because they are definitely out there. The federal government has says, banks, you need to help folks. You need to help folks. You need to help folks, and that's what everyone is doing. Some of the big guys have programs and products already. So with a little bit of research, you can find something that might work for you. We expected with our grant programs, we expected to do 200 loans in the course of, 200 loans a year for 3 years and $6 million commitment and be done. And we're at 8 million already in a year and a half. So that just says that there's a demand out there and people are taking advantage of it and need it. So, Ebony, that's really it. I mean, the gist is their programs and products. Stay encouraged. The realtors on the call, there's stuff that can help folks get into homes. Take advantage of this time now, because those of you that are saying, you know what, I'm going to wait till interest rates drop, I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot harder in that environment than it is now, because unless there's more inventory, it's just going to get even more competitive, right? Because now everybody's like, well, wait a second, that's right within my wheelhouse. So let me jump out there. Well, you'll be jumping out there with 100 other people, or thousands of other people. And I think we might have another COVID-like market again, which is not in the interest of definitely first-time home buyers or a lot of buyers. It's just, my opinion, too hard. So now is the time, even though interest rates are higher, now is the time to take advantage of what's out there and all the benefits of home ownership. If you're waiting till rates get back down to 2, 3, 4, I mean, they're never going back to 2%, I'm sorry, to 4 or 5%, it's going to be much, much more difficult. Mark my words. That's it, Ebony.
Good.
Yeah. Did you have something
Steve,
to add?
I have a quick question. Steve, do you have any idea when the mortgage credit certificate will be coming back?
Honestly, Muhammad, I don't. I don't have a lot of experience with that. It's so hard, honestly, and discouraging to get clients excited about products and then the rug gets pulled out from under them. So, like, even in the case of HPAP, so many hearts were broken when they ran out of money. So I honestly don't pay too close attention to that stuff, just because I want there to be more. I want my clients to have some certainty. I know there's certainty around the Maryland Mortgage Program. I know there's certainty around my products and programs. So I don't pay that close attention to MCC.
Got you. You didn't mention any programs or products out of Virginia. Is Virginia being stingy, or they
No,
don't
my
have much
apologies.
going on?
No, my apologies. That last one was for Virginia, the VHDA program.
Got you.
That is a Virginia-based program.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, pretty good website too. So pretty easy to log on and check it out and see the intricacies of that. Some nice features. They're helping. They're doing some good work out in Virginia also.
Steve, I got a
Fantastic.
question.
Yeah.
So given that HPAP, they ran out of money, do you think that, come October, whenever it's time to refill the coffers, that they'll have some campaigning around, the program to try and make up for, this lost time? And, like the folks on the call, some of whom are in Washington, D.C., could really use that help.
Yeah, I mean, the smart move right now is that they're still allowing people to get their notices of eligibility. So if you're not in the queue already, I would definitely go see one of the housing counselors and get started in the process. And how they'll work through the queue in terms of clients that had ratified contracts and that stuff, I'm not sure. But the program, DC rolled out big noise and big news about, hey, you can get up to 202,000, and that got people excited, and people, thought that this dream of home ownership was possible. So they're going to do what's right. It might just take some time as they navigate through the bureaucracy. And it's them running out of money is not an uncommon occurrence. I think they ran out a little bit earlier than they expected this year.
Yeah, they run out every year.
Right, they do run out every year, but the point is, and what I want everyone to stay positive and stay optimistic. You can get there if you don't pull yourself out of the game. It ain't gonna be easy, and I guess it shouldn't be. But stay optimistic, because this dream of home ownership is possible. There is support out there. You just got to navigate it.
Okay, I was just sorry about that. I was just asking if there were any other questions that were out there on the floor, perhaps. All right, if there are no questions, then we can go ahead and start to wrap up. We're already almost at a half hour. Sure, there's no questions.
I rambled on for too
These were
long.
amazing. These were amazing. These were amazing products and programs. I think the grant programs that George Mason is offering are pretty impressive. And we're going to archive this video and, put some of the resources in there so people can get a hold of you, Steve, if you want to go ahead and, just say what your information is for the people on the call if they want to jot it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Please call me or text me on my cell phone. That's the best way to get a hold of me. And my number is 202-494-3284. I'll do that again, 202-494-3284. Happy to share my experience and my knowledge about the business and the products and programs available, and help you find the help you need.
Appreciate that so much. Well, this is our roundtable. We host it every month. It's the first Thursday of the month at 6 o'clock to 6:30. It's the same link. So, the people who are on the call and watch this later on our channels, just, feel free to click the link. And we'll be back here October the 5th at 6 o'clock. And we thank you, Steve, very much for joining us. And I'm sure you're probably going to get some calls after folks see this video for sure.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Nice to meet you guys. Take care.
All right. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.